Having a homestead out here in the desert is wonderful. There's tons of sun, there's nice clean air, but there is a challenge, and that is water. I'm Cameron, welcome back to the Busy Gardener channel. Today I'm gonna walk you through kind of really informally, slow pace, some of the things that we're doing to increase the water retention on our property for the eventual orchard that we want to plant over there, and show you some of the other things that we're doing to try to capture and maintain some of the water. Let's get busy. So out here, it's totally gorgeous so much of the year, and we wanted to do something to take the love that we have for fruit trees and to do it even in a desert environment. There's a lot of stuff that can grow out here in spite of the real hot months in the summer. We've got pretty mild winters, and so that means we can plant a lot of different things out here. So as we kind of imagine and think through what those things are, we're wanting to improve the conditions so that when we plant whatever trees or vines or whatever it is, that we're able to go. I'm curious, would you put down in the comments below what you think we ought to plant out here in the desert? This is really going to help us to spur some thoughts, and I would love to hear if you've already tried something in a desert environment and how that's gone for you. Okay, let's walk over. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with those mulch piles. As we're trying to get ideas for out here on this desert homestead, I've been watching for the last couple of years, ever since we bought this place, watching and been inspired by Dust Up Ranch with Sean Overton and Shiny Tiny Home. I don't even remember what their names are, but I just love watching their stuff as they're building like a house out of just the materials they have on site. And they've done something, and I'm going to show you in a minute, on how they're capturing and trying to retain moisture in their soil. We have a natural waterway that comes right through here, and it goes right by these mulch piles. And this is the area that we want to build our and plant our orchard. We've got a little berm there, a natural, well, not natural. It was put there somehow, a berm to help direct the water that comes from these mountains. And so all of the water collects in the bowl of all of that stuff, comes through here and some other areas, and races down this kind of flat spillway and makes its way past this area, around the corner. I'm going to show you what we're working on over there and off of our property. I want to catch it in this area. I want this area to be fertile. I want stuff to grow naturally and really retain the moisture. So there are a couple of things that I want to do here. First, this stuff, if you even want to call it soil, is just, it's so sandy. It's so parched. I mean, it's very hard also. And so there's not a lot of microbial activity going on, especially in the summer months. Right now it's March, but in the months where it's warm, this just bakes in the sun. It makes it very difficult to plant anything and certainly to retain any sort of moisture, and it's just inhospitable. So we're trying to raise the hospitality level. One way to do it is to trap the water here, which I'm going to show you in a minute. One way to do that is to spread this mulch out, just like it works in our own home. The mulch is going to create a layer that's going to be the first thing to be baked by the sun, not the soil underneath. So it's going to help with moisture levels underneath the mulch layer. It's also, as it breaks down, is going to introduce organic material right in this area. And so that's going to enrich the soil and create a hospitable environment for a lot of microbial life, fungal life, all of that stuff that you want under the soil. Maybe even earthworms. Could you imagine if we found some earthworms out here in the desert? How cool would that be? They might be under there somewhere, but I haven't seen any as we've dug. Okay, let me show you part two of this thing. So these giant piles of mulch didn't magically just appear here. We had a bunch of trees and bushes cut down a couple of years ago, mainly to keep them away from the house because they pose a fire hazard. And so we told the guys who were doing the tree service, we said, listen, when you come, please bring as much mulch as you can. So they thankfully brought an entire trailer full of material. And then we shredded up the pepper tree and some of the other stuff that we have out here, the creosote. And I don't remember what else, maybe some acacia. It's acacia with the thorns on it, beautiful green. They're actually really pretty, but they were just too close to the house. Anyway, the idea with this mulch is going to be spread out over this soil. And to give you an idea of what's going on, I mean, what do I mean? I don't even want to call it soil. It's just minerals, it's just sand. Our second part of this is to take care of all of this water as it races down this way. How do we stop the water? And you see the start of it. The kiddo over there has been doing a great job of digging this out. And so we're trying to use these concept of creating a berm which is that hill over there, and a swale, which is going to be this depression over here. And so it essentially turns into a little bathtub. So as the water races down the mountain, hopefully not races because it's pretty mellow over there, it comes into this area, it's going to pool up here, and that water is going to, first of all, it's going to slow it down, so that way hopefully it backs up and begins to just seep and collect into the ground. But also it's going to prevent it from just running everything off. So when we spread that mulch, we don't want that mulch immediately being washed out to the street. We want it to stay in this area. So having a berm there is going to be really important. So here are a couple of things that I've been trying to figure out with this. The first is how deep and how wide to make it. Now, we're trying to cover up and create a berm around the low point, which, as you can probably see, is over there. That way, in front of that pink cup. And so as we build that up, that's going to keep stuff, it's going to have to go over the top to get out, but we're also wanting to dig down. So the nice thing is we're able to use the material that's right here to create a pool for that water to land in. So that's going to be really helpful to do. Part two of this is, once we spread this mulch, how do we keep this mulch from just washing away? I mean, we're going to spread it, let's say in this area over here. Well, when the water comes down from the mountains and through this area, how do we keep it from getting washed straight out off of our property, all the mulch out of here? The first step toward this is to dig out this swale. And that's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to keep all of our material from just going away. It's going to stay here. The second thing is it's going to recharge our water down here. Our water supply is all provided by that pump house over there. We've got a pump 100 feet under the ground. And so having the water, capturing the water on our property, allows it to go down, recharge whatever aquifers we've got going on. So we want to support that whenever we can. Keep water here so that way we have access to it for our supplemental irrigation. But it's also going to just naturally keep moisture in this area. Remember, this is the whole area we want to plant fruit trees. We might do something like that a little further up there as well, only to keep the water stopped there and going down. So we might do a few steps of these, but this one definitely is it before it exits. The second thing that it's going to do for us is by creating this berm over here. Now you probably see that berm, that hill of soil that is going up. Nice thing is we don't have to bring in any other material. We just use the material we have here. As we dig our swale, we're able to use it to create our berm. And so this is going to be the real hero, I think, as far as keeping material in here. Because all the material, even if it washes up against that, is still going to remain here in this orchard area, and allowing all that organic material to stay here and to break down and be available to us. It's so calm and quiet out here. I know where we live is not especially loud, but there's something that is nice about getting away from the hustle and the bustle, all of the responsibilities. I think responsibilities are great, but to be able to just kind of exhale is really nice. You have any place like that? Where's your exhale place? This is something that ends up becoming deeply restful for our family, even though we've got pretty good rhythms of rest and of work. And so this has been a real blessing for us. One of the things you might find interesting here are these melons. These little melons we found growing in the desert. These are called coyote melons, I think. Might be getting it wrong now and feel kind of silly when you see that. So these, when you find them, once they've ripened and dried out, the seeds sit in here. And so what we're taking and doing in this area where we're going to be planting, we're trying to introduce organic material and have as much organic material staying in this spot, decomposing and enriching the soil as possible. So when we were out on an excursion out in the federal land behind us over there, we picked up a bunch of these melons, we brought them back, and we're smashing them and spreading their seeds all in this area to create some vine. Oh, in fact, I think this is one down here. So this here is this is just the vine part of the melon. So as this spreads out, it's going to create some more and drop some more melons out there. Through this gate behind me, 10,000 acres of federal land to just go and explore. I'll have to take you guys on that sometime. Let me know if you want to see anything out there. There's supposedly some sort of hot springs that is on the other side of that saddle right over there. And so I tried hiking there one time, but I got deterred by the choyas. We're gonna go check that out sometime. So you might want to subscribe and check that out on a future video. Okay, this is a little surprise. Kiddos have made themselves a giant tub. What do you call this, Spud? A pool, okay, a pool. A dirt bath. Hopefully less dirt and more bath. And so this is kind of an easy way when they're here to be able to just dig and have fun and create this like almost like a reverse sand castle. But it also serves as a way for when there's rain, it's going to catch all of it and dump it right in there and let that go down into the aquifer. So all of the water that's filling this up is coming from the ground and it's going to go back into the ground. Pretty cool. I'm going to aim to dig this out maybe 3 feet. It's really easy soil. If you've watched my channel, you know that we struggle at our house with everything being rocks. The minute you put the shovel in the ground, it's rocks. But this is all soil. It almost feels like a joy to do this. It's kind of incredible. Something that's driving this project and a bunch of other things that we're doing is I've got kids, 5 kids actually, and what a joy to be a dad. And it's got me thinking about future generations and kids, great grandkids of mine I'm never even gonna maybe see, and thinking, how can I be a material, relational, spiritual blessing to them, even though I'm never gonna meet them. And so part of that is doing projects like this. Now maybe none of my great grandkids are ever gonna see this place or even know my name, but I want to be the kind of guy who is thinking with the future in mind. You know, all of us are part of a much bigger story than we probably think. We're part of millennia. Every one of anybody watching this, you're part of a story that's millennia older than you. You've got descendants, or ancestors rather, who scraped and survived for thousands of years and made it so that you could be here today. And so keeping that in mind just helps me to make different decisions. And so ideally what we're doing with this project, just this little thing here in terms of bringing order to this area, is going to hopefully create a place where my family is able to come back. My kids maybe will come back with my grandkids. And this will be a place, imagine, that they can come and pick fresh fruit or come and stay out here and be refreshed beyond just the natural beauty that's here, but have this land be productive as well. Even though we're finding a lot of moisture in the soil, you can see that the first few inches of it here are pretty parched, and it isn't until you get down about maybe 4 or 5 inches that you start seeing some moisture. So that makes vegetative growth really difficult for stuff out here. Something I'm going to need over here, as I understand it, is as the water comes down there, it's going to build up at a certain point and the water is going to need to go somewhere. If it goes over the top, let's say. And what will happen in that case is the water will carve its own way and pretty much destroy this berm over here. So in order to keep the water there, but allowing it to safely and non-destructively get out, I'm gonna probably put like a 2-inch pipe as a little spillway over there. I might put some rocks for it to fall down onto, so that way we have as little erosion as possible, but still giving a place for the excess water to go. Something that gives me the confidence to take on a project like this is having developed some skills over the last 10 years of growing fruit trees and other stuff. But I learned some hard lessons along the way, and I wrote an ebook, 9 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started My Backyard Garden. And there I tackle and give some solutions to some problems that are pretty common problems that you might be having too. And so you might want to check that out. It might be a help to you. We're going to keep working on this berm and this swale, and we're going to put in the overflow pipes. This is an ongoing project, and so I'd love for you to stay tuned. Hey, until next time, stay busy.